Hey there, my name is Brashler, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use clips inside of your show on your Behringer Wing. Now, if you're brand new to my channel, I'm all about helping you feel more confident in your production gear no matter where you're starting from. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, over the last several weeks, I have been releasing videos on the show control of the Behringer Wing. And if you haven't downloaded the firmware yet for firmware 2.0, make sure you do. Go over to behringer.com/download, and you can download the new Behringer firmware there for your Behringer Wing. Now, with clips allows us to record any portion of audio to a USB drive and then load that into our show and play that back and have that inside of our show control on the Behringer Wing. So I have a USB FAT formatted drive in my USB slot on my Behringer Wing. And what I'm wanting to do is I have this band set here. So I have my band 1, Mojaves, the Generics, and Country Nights. These are made up band names. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to record a VOG for my voice, and that VOG is going to play back before these bands come on stage. And so when I press go on one of these clips, it's going to say, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin. And then the next clip will be, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mojaves. And I can have these as clips that I can recall in my show. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Now, to record a clip, what we need to do is we need to have that USB drive in our board. And I have a microphone here and it's plugged into local 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and find an empty channel, and that's channel 25. And I'm going to go ahead and route my local 1 into this. So we can see, check, check, check. My gain is set really, really low. So let's go ahead and set our gain here. So check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, check. So we can see that I have this vocal mic going in here. And let's go ahead and add in a little bit of EQ to make this sound good. So let's add in our low cut and have that at 100. And we'll reduce a little bit of the low end on this guy. We can go to our low shelf. We can also cut out a little bit of 600. And then let's add in a compressor. So I'll change my attack and release settings here. And let's get this thing set here. So check, check, 1, 2. There we go. That's looking pretty good. And let's go ahead and set the auto envelope off and adjust our gain up. Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, there we go. So we now have this channel set. And so we can go ahead and turn this microphone up and we can hear it. So the next thing that I need to do is I need to set my USB recorder to be pulled from this microphone on local 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my routing, and I'm going to go and set my sources of my user signal. I'm going to set this to be from my channel 25, which is this microphone here. So I'm going to go ahead and press close. And that way, when I'm talking into this, this can be post fader. So I'm going to turn this up to 0. And that way, this is getting all of my processing of this microphone, and this will be going to that recorder. So now what we need to do is we need to go to outputs. And on our left-hand side, we are going to go to the recorder. And I'm going to select this thing right here, this first one, and I'm going to pull from user signal 1. And on my second one, I'm also going to be pulling from user 1. That way, it is recording the left side and the right side of my USB recorder. So check, check, check. And I can see that there's pretty good levels going here. So check, check, check. 1, 2. So I could go ahead and turn this up just a little bit. Hey, 1, 2, check, check, check. Okay. And so what we can do now is I can press record, and it's going to record to my USB drive. And I'm going to record, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our show is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our show is about to begin. Okay, and so we can see that on my USB player, it's right here. This is our new recording. And so I'm going to go ahead and rename this show about to begin. Okay, and now I'm going to create one for Mojave's. So I'm going to go back and click on my USB recorder, and I'm going to record. Ladies and gentlemen, now introducing Mojave's. So we can now rename this. Okay, and now I'm going to record one for the generics. Ladies and gentlemen, now introducing the generics. And I can rename this. And then my last band is Country Nights. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Country Nights. So now we can go and rename this to be Country Nights. Okay, so I have these 4 clips, and when I press playback on these clips, it's going to play back on the USB recorder output. So I actually have that routed into my aux1. I actually have that routed into my aux2. And so if you don't have this player routed into your console quite yet, we can go to routing, we can go to our channels, and on our source group, we can select our USB player. And so we can then go and select our 2-track on our aux2. If, for instance, I wanted to have it on aux7, I can go ahead and unlock, and I can place my 2-track there. But for instance, for right now, we want this on our aux2 channel. So if I was to go to library, and I go to my USB, and I go and navigate to where I have these files, I can go ahead and turn this up, and I can press play on any of these, and it will play that file. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our show is about to begin. Now, I'm wanting to take this a step farther and actually get this into my show. So I'm going to go to my show, and I am going to record a couple snippets here. So what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to create a snippet that unmutes and turns my 2-track player up to 0 as my first snippet. So let's go to snippets, and I am going to clear my record scope, and I'm going to press record. And I'm going to have this unmuted, and I'm going to turn this up to 0. And I'm going to press save plus add. And this is going to be USB player plus 0 dB. Save. Okay, so I'm going to actually move this snippet all the way up to the top up here. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to record a snippet for turning this down and muting. So I'm going to go ahead and press stop, clear, and we can press record, and I'm going to turn this down and mute. And I'm going to press save plus add, and this is USB player mute. Save. And so what we can now do is I can go add in that clip of my show is about to begin. So I'm going to go to my USB and show about to begin. I'm going to press show, and I'm going to press add. And now we can see there is this. We have our show about to begin, and then it mutes. So if I was to go and send these in order, I can press go. It'll raise it up. I can then press next and press go.
Ladies
It'll
and
start
gentlemen,
playing.
please take your seats. Our show is about to begin.
And then I could press next, and it would then mute it. Now, an additional thing that I can do is I can actually link these two things together. So what I can do is I can go and press go on this. It will automatically unmute, raise it up to 0, play that file all in one go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our show is about to begin.
Now I can then press next and press go. But one other thing is I can actually link my mute to my audio file. And so what will happen is when I press go on this, it will load my up to 0. It'll play my file. It will wait until that file is finished playing, and then it will mute it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our show is about to begin.
Just like that. So let's go ahead and now add in the introduction of Mojaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and back to my Mojaves. I'm going to add this into my show, and I'm going to move this down, and I'm going to go to my USB, go into my show, and we have my USB player. I'm going to add that, and I'm going to go back to my USB player mute and add that. And so now what we can do is we can move this up. So we have it goes 0, about to begin, mutes, and 0. We can link this to the Mojaves. And then we can link this to the mute. And then what we can do is we can go down and add in our next file. So we can go back to our root, and this is the generics. And we can add that to our show. And we can go to our show folder, and this is where we have the USB player and the USB player mute. And so we have these, and so I'm going to move this up, and I'm going to link this and link this. So we can see that my show is now USB player goes up to 0, plays this file, mutes. And then when I press go the next time, it will raise that the USB player up, introduce the Mojaves, and then I can then load my snapshot when I'm ready. And then on here, once the band is done with their songs, I can now introduce the generics, and then we can go to our songs, and then let's go and introduce the Country Nights. So I will go and pull up Country Nights and add that, go to my show, add in the USB player and the USB player mute. So we now have this, which is my wave, and I'm going to put that right there. We have our USB player. Let's raise that up, and our mute, and let's link and link. Okay, so let's go up to the top. And I can actually go ahead and press go plus next here. And this will actually load my show about to begin setup. And then it will automatically select my next USB player for introducing the Mojaves.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our show is about to begin.
And let's introduce the Mojaves.
Ladies and gentlemen, now introducing Mojaves.
And now we can actually press go plus next to load my Mojave snapshot. And here's song 1, and then song 2. Perfect. Let's bring them down, and I'll go back over to my aux layer so we can see this happen. Let's introduce the generics.
Ladies and gentlemen, now introducing the generics.
Okay, here's my generics. Here's song 1. There's song 2. Now let's introduce the Country Nights.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Country Nights.
And there's song 1. So you can even take this one step farther and have maybe a generic walk-in song that you want to play as a stinger. And you can actually place that on one of your custom control buttons. So I am going to use my show about to begin, and I'm going to go and press my show tab, and I'm going to edit this tag, and I'm going to do a number sign 1 and press OK. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press View in my Custom Controls section. I'm going to select this button here, and I'm going to go down to Scene Recall and do Scene 1. Now what's neat about this is then from any anywhere that I am on the console. I could be on the meters page, I could be on matrix, I could be anywhere that I want to. And all I have to do is press this one button and it will raise my playback of my USB player up to 0, play that file, and then once it's done, it will turn it down and mute it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Our show is about to begin.
Just like that. Now, I hope this video was helpful for you today. I am so excited about this new show control. There's so many capabilities that this is bringing to us for being able to create a very easy flowing show of our board and just have really good control over everything that's on our console. If you do happen to have any questions, or if there's a video that you're hoping that I would make on the Wing or any of the consoles that are out there, please post that in the comment section down below, as I'm always reading through those comments to find videos that are going to be helpful for you. If you haven't already, make sure to check out my website at drewbrashler.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.